Hello everyone, I am Xerix Lord Sentinel, and welcome back to Century of Economy 2026. When we left off, the pirates were recovering from the eruption of Voyanui, and tensions were rising between the Americans and Spanish. Now, on to the action! 3 rounds of turns have passed, and the lava has cooled on Voyanui, making the island safe to dock at again, at least for now. However, the pirates will now forever be wary of the island. The Spanish find several crates at Pride Rock and distribute them between the Santa Teresa and El Raton. La Menzahara re-explores Split Island after the adrifting and finds metals. The Buscador and El Dorado use their hoist arms to bring home resources for Spain. At the end of their turn, the Spanish launch from their home island and trading port. El Alquimista with helmsman, explorer, and oarsman. San Pedro with helmsman, explorer, and oarsman. Rosa Pálida, with captain, helmsman, cannoneer, gunner, marine, and oarsman. El Corazon Dorado, with Almirante Sebastian Salazar and Roberto Santana. And Santa Catarina, with helmsman. The pirates make land at an island where the Longshanks find spices. A wide shot of pirate waters, they are mostly recovered from the eruption and are seeking to re-explore various islands since triggering a drift. In American waters, the Dragonfire and Milo Akuo find several buried chests. Several ships dock at the supply port and load lumber, fueling the American gold system, and also giving them a way to make more cargo crates, a priority for them. Treasures are moved around between the Cheyenne and Annapolis, with the former receiving the hammer of the Mask Maker. The Polaris docks at the lagoon and exchanges some crew with the Zonfu. The Zonfu then moves, sailing with the current past Tutorial Island and the supply port there. The Frontier uses her hoist arm to load gold from the home island. Turning about, she's able to hoist the gold to the colony, and with the Rattlesnake upgrades it to level 8. She uses an extra action to begin sailing to home, and scoops up resources for the incoming Columbia. The Columbia then moves SOA while the Frontier deposits the resources on the home island. Realizing she is optimally placed, the Americans run most of their gold fleet through the Frontier, taking advantage of her hoist arm to load and unload resources from incoming ships right to the home island. At their trading port in the Shallow Sea, the James Madison finds a cargo crate filled with food. Enterprise and Vengeance begin to make their way to the home island to unload their paltry cargoes. Lurching from her berth, the Shui Xian joins several smaller ships in a nearby fogbank. Using an extra action, the Zonfu slips by Tutorial Island and sets sail for far-off Spanish waters. At the end of their turn, the Americans launch. Roanoke with Chieftain, helmsman and oarsman. USS Morningstar with Chieftain, helmsman and oarsman. USS Ross with Chieftain, helmsman and oarsman. Speedy Return with Chieftain, helmsman and oarsman. Dark Fox with Chieftain, helmsman and oarsman. USS Plymouth Rock with Professor Archibald Hale, Silver Explorer, and oarsman. Grand Wind with Zheng Zhilong, helmsman, shipwright, and oarsman. Typhoon with Zhao Man, helmsman and oarsman. And 5 sets of the American native canoe. The French continue to run gold, much as they have for most of the game. They are wary of the storms and are so far not fully committed to growing their fleet, for fears that new ships will be wiped out by the storms. In Cursed Waters, the Deathwind, Knights Errant, and Suro all sail for the far side of the Spices Island. Likely one of the most secure places on the map, and certainly one of the most remote. Cursed ships drop anchor off the coast of Pride Rock, waiting to trade their cargoes of medicine. La Monarca is also at the ready, standing by to return to Spanish control. At their home island, Squawluk loads 3 infantry units. Given an extra action, Squawluk flies out and nearly docks the castle in one move action. Elsewhere, the Mamam Bridget makes land at Kanohi Island and prepares to upgrade the island. Cursed Gold Runners gather close to their food islands, trying to gather as much of the valuable resource as they can. In between the various ships, the Loa's Justice is preparing to upgrade the other food island. In English waters, the Honu Iki explores the Pathway Island, finding minerals. Given an extra action, the Iki makes land at Poseidon's Eye and finds spices. Algiers makes land at a gold island in the shallow sea. Maui's fishhook transfers all of her treasures to the Devil Ray. At a different gold island, the Tai King explores, and Zheng Li Quan sends the pirate codex to the island the Algiers just docked at, and loads a random coin from that island. The Bowschwein utilizes Hamilton Hawk to unload her vast cargo to the English home island. At the end of the turn, the English launch 2 ships, HMS Benjamin with helmsman, colonizer, and oarsman, and HMS Durham with helmsman and oarsman. Using the ocean current, the Dorado, Alquimista, and San Pedro all dock at the Medicine Island. Elsewhere, the Buscador explores an island with her hoist arm, finding food. El San Jose docks at the trading port on Pride Rock, unloading 11 gold, meeting the requirements from Davy Jones for the return of La Monarca. Will the Cursed hold up their end of the bargain? The Porto P lighthouse speeds several Spanish ships along. Here, the Santa Isabel and Collector del Dia make ready to land at the Triangle Island. El Corazon Dorado and El San Jose look for more cargo crates, and find several. Sensing that conflict will soon begin, the Spanish scrape their gold together and launch 2 ships at the end of their turn. Santissima Trinidad with Commandant Mateo Vasquez, and El Corzado Nuevo with Capitan Regilio de Silva, helmsman, firepot specialist, musketeer, marine, disc launcher, and oarsman. The Black Pearl peeks around Skull Rock, spying the Spanish trading port in nearby Calypsos. Longshanks explores the Pyramid Island, finding minerals. A wide shot of pirate waters, Destiny's Bounty and the Charles load spices at the bottom left. In the upper right, ships traverse back and forth between the home island and Sharktooth. At the end of their turn, the pirates launch the Foresight with a helmsman and purchase 5 infantry. At Oak Island, the Black Bear finds a barrel. Behind her, the Doomsday sails west. The Shallow Sea Gold Fleet each find a barrel. The Plymouth Rock explores an island, finding spices. Annapolis and the Typhoon exchange treasures. USS Ross finds cargo crates, but can only load 1 of them. Docking at Oak Island, the Cheyenne finds a buried chest. With gold delivered from the home island, the Frontier and Rattlesnake upgrade the colony to level 9. An extra action later, it is upgraded again to the maximum of 10. This gives the Americans a huge advantage over the other factions, as the level 10 colony will allow them to remotely hire army units, produce several gold coins, and will offer the same protection as a home island. The Americans begin to send ships with gold to the Lagoon Island, the site of another potential colony. 25 native canoes explore the Twin Island. Most find a cargo crate or a barrel, sometimes 2. An absolute tracking nightmare. At the end of their turn, the Americans launch. Pawtucket with captain, helmsman, firepot specialist, disc launcher, and oarsman. Grand Temple with Hung Bao, helmsman, Kian Ni, and oarsman. Grand Path with Katsura-chan, Shipping Sai, helmsman, shipwright, armor, and oarsman. Xinwang Shao with Emperor Shan Ra, Cheng Pao, helmsman, shipwright, and oarsman. And the Majestic with marine, helmsman, and oarsman. In French waters, the storms begin to clear from the northern islands, allowing the French to safely return to them. Here, the St. Joan finds lumber. At the neighboring island, they find food. In Cursed Waters, the Man Bridget upgrades Kanohi Island with a town. Elsewhere, the Lois Justice does the same to a food island. Celestin sails to the Guide Island by Voyanui and finds food. This greatly disappoints the Cursed, who now have 3 food islands all in one cluster. The Nightmare navigates over a reef. With speed boosts from the Titan Kalos, several Cursed runners dock at home, depositing vast amounts of the food resource. The Cursed uphold their word. Kalim surfaces and explores La Monarca, retaking the Gem of Hades and giving the ship back to the Spanish. At the same time, Cursed ships weigh anchor and dock at the trading port, trading medicine for lumber and the 11 gold left there by the Spanish. At the end of their turn, the Cursed launch the Hades realm with the Shadow King and an oarsman. Algiers explores her gold island, revealing rum and the hidden trove. She uses her ability to fling the pirate codex away, back to where it came from. Maui's fishhook uses her hoist arm to transfer a treasure from the Tai King to herself, and then to the Devil Ray, making sure to only take face-up treasures. A wide shot of English waters, from the southeast looking northwest. A healthy stack of gold sits on the English home island, with the gold fleet spread out between the Hidden Cove Island and the Pathway Island. And that wraps up this report. Resources are about to change, and tensions are continuing to mount between the Spanish and Americans. If you want to see what happens next, make sure you're subscribed. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.